pray. Precious Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet today, Father. As we await for our speaker to join us, Father, I ask that you guide our speaker. Today is a very important day for Joyous Circle as we listen to our speaker to walk us through what we are supposed to be knowing to move our circle forward. Father, I pray that those ladies that are also on their way or will be joining shortly, give them the opportunity to join, Father. I know they are in different places of the world. Some of them are at work, Father. And I just ask you to guide them and let them be available and able to listen to our speaker. I pray, asking and trusting in you through my Lord and my Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for praying for us. And I think, and with that, I will give the floor over to Ms. Tambo, Ms. Millie Tambo, so that she can educate us. Welcome, Millie.
Well, thank you so much. Can you all hear me well?
I hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me today. I'm excited to be here. I have two of my Confidence Elevates young people who are going to join. They're my accountability team. So we're so excited. Thank you so, so much. So when I got this invite from Jackie to come and speak, I was so excited because I have interacted with so many ladies on this circle, and I've really loved the work that you're doing. And so it was so exciting to hear about, like, to come and talk about Confidence Elevates. What is Confidence Elevates? Before I get started, does anybody here know about Confidence Elevates? Anybody here? And I see Dr. Nelly here. What do you know? What are the perceptions you've had about Confidence Elevates?
Well, I know a little bit about it because I have been one of the participants and speakers at one of your conferences in Nairobi. But I know that you help a lot of young people to develop themselves, to even becoming leaders, giving them the skills that are so much required.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Nelly. And we had so much fun. We were thinking that you'll join us again, but you're going to be traveling, so we'll miss you in July. Anybody else? Thank you so much. Anyone else on the call? On anything you've heard about Confidence Elevates or any perception? No one? Okay. Silence is feedback too. That's what we always say. Silence is feedback. So I will get started by, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. I've sent you a message on your private thing, just a heads up if you didn't see my message. but with that being said, I just also want to take this opportunity to say thank you for being here. Thank you for presenting to us also. I kind of joined late, so sorry about that, but thanks for being here. I'm taking this opportunity also to do that. But thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But in regards to what you do with Confidence Elevates, I've watched you on Facebook and seen all the ladies you bring up there and the growth that happens with the women that are there. So that's in regards to your Confidence Elevates. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Jackie. Anyone else? Thank you for all that. Anyone else? Okay. So basically today I'm going to talk about Confidence Elevates. I didn't know where to get started because this is a journey that started in 2018. And I'm just going to start with something that really drives my research, drives my our organization is, if human beings are the greatest assets we have, then it's our collective duty collective duty every day to equip, empower, and elevate. And that's all of us. So I wake up each day with a sense of urgency to drive sustainable change in people by connecting dots on engagement, accountability, and ownership. So, for example, this is a circle. When people own the process, when they can connect between ownership, why am I here? What am I doing? And what drives them, they become so engaged, and it projects a deeper way that they're going. So I have worked with so many teams. I work as an executive coach, and also work with Confidence Elevates as something that, it's something that passion, work, and what I do every day. So I am Millie Betty Tambo, and I thrive in developing teams that are strong through coaching. So I will be asking questions as we go, because that's just my mode of engaging people. We normally say that, human beings were either scanning and saying, is this for me? Is not for me? But what we're going to talk about is really something that's going to push us internally as human beings, because Confidence Elevates, the most important thing that we started with in Confidence Elevates is believing that we are all gifted. Everybody here is gifted in something. And it takes us to be, it takes all of us to nurture that gift. So we know that how people rise when they feel seen, when they feel heard, and when they feel valued. So the question that I'm going to ask will come after this, but the potential, what we found out with Confidence Elevates, and it's just, I'm going to share a little bit of my story. I was one of those people, even at work, even growing up, I felt timid. I felt like I was not good enough, worth enough to do anything. I remember growing up in Kenya, and we were told, you have to, like, girls are not good in math. So I absorbed that, and I was very shy, very timid. So I didn't do well in the subject, and I went to India, and I met someone, a professor, who really, really nurtured me, motivated me on the subject, in a fact that I became so good in the subject. And when I came to America, guess what? I taught students, and I also saw the same lack of confidence, which was in me. And someone else decided to nurture me and help me. And as I grew in my teaching, my boss was like, no, I think you're doing such a good job. We need to help you. So I'm a product of empowered leadership. So he asked me, how can you mind? You can leave teaching. We want you to go ahead and train other teachers. And I was like, me? So the potential that we see in other people needs an environment where it can be nurtured, where it can be seen and valued. So my question is, before we move forward, is think about a time when someone believed in you before you fully believed in yourself. I've shared a little bit of mine. So I really, when we're speaking, we always kind of just unmute and share with us, because over here, the whole group here, we have collective learning. We all have that wisdom. We all have that special gift. And when we're in a team, like we're in Sako here, we can really rise up people. So that's the question, and I can type it again. Think about a time when someone believed in you before you believed in yourself. Then unmute and just share, please. Please. Someone believed in you before you believed.
Okay, I will definitely go ahead just to start the flow. Thank you so much. I grew up very poor, and I hate to say this, my mom used to make changa just to take us to school. So then when I did class 7, I got admitted to a national school, and I was really, really scared, because I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to interact with these kids? And I was so scared and timid all the time. So one day, My math teacher approached me and said, "Oh my God, you are the smartest child I have ever seen." And from that day, the confidence she gave me propelled me to be where I am, because I knew that now somebody has recognized me. Somebody is seeing me, despite the fact that I am so shy, scared, not even knowing. And I always remember that teacher to today.
Thank you. Anyone else? That's what we're talking about. Someone talked to you, they shared that, and then it just triggered something in your brain, because our brains respond to those neurons, and that elevated you and look at you. And so that we do in Confidence Elevates. A lot of times people don't even know what they're good at. A lot of times you find young people that join us, it's like, Mimi Siwezi, oh, Madam Betty, I can't do this. I think I have one of the young people, I don't know if she's here, Christine. She wrote to us an email through Facebook and said, I really don't know. I'm not confident enough. I'm not. But now, if you see her, I call her my Odoge now, because she's just exploring different kind of opportunities, because we believed in her and we gave her that opportunity to grow and succeed. And a lot of our at times we find our young people, when they're going to the global setting in global organizations, and they're not used to global culture in corporate setting, and we have to train them and coach them and tell them, you know, if a Zoom meeting starts at this time, we need you to be at this time. If your project is due on this time, talk to your manager. These are the questions you need to talk to your manager. This is what you do. So is there someone else who wants to share? Don't be shy. You guys have done such an amazing job. Okay. I will move on because I don't want to. So, what do? We unlock potential, we retrain our brains to think differently. We really believe in the power of understanding how the brain works. A lot of times, we don't even know that our communication sends a threat in somebody's brain. So, we really, really just retrain our brains. A lot of things that we do in Confidence Elevates is structured around coaching with the brain in mind, like understanding that if I say this to someone, I need to think about the thought process and understand that you know, sometimes you hear, I'll just say it, you know, I'll just say it the way it is. A lot of emotional intelligence goes into thinking about what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? And how is it going to be perceived? So that's what we do. Like I've said, we unlock potential and develop leaders who see beyond today's challenges and tomorrow's possibilities. I'm just imagining, like in your circle right now, you think about all the challenges that are in the world, all the uncertainty that is there in different countries, different places, and even with us, with people, you know, you look at your jobs and you're thinking, oh my God, what job is going to be there or not? But when we train people, we think about how do you handle today's challenges with a mindset of thinking about tomorrow's possibilities. Because if you're not thinking about, if we're not thinking about, you know, these possibilities, then people just come to the meetings and they're so scared. Our mission is to create those spaces where people discover and think about discover their capacity to really work on things that are beyond. And most of the time when we do our coaching, we're like, okay, so what's next? What are you going to do next? Because we want to discover the capacity, strengthen their confidence, and become catalysts for impactful change. We always say that whenever your confidence is elevated, it's not for you to keep. Like, you don't wake up and take a light and take it under the tree. Okay, you don't take, see, I'm going to look. You don't take the light and you take it and put it under the, you're supposed to shine. You're supposed to own that shine so that you can be able to move people beyond what they need to do. We believe in intentional habits. The confidence is built through intentional practice, not a single moment. So our journey, if you see us, like Jackie said, our journey started in 2018. But I think if you look at our website, you will see that we have really evolved. We have evolved through our conversations. We've evolved in our feedback. In our organization, we always say feedback is ongoing. We don't wait until something is bad. We ongoing. Every meeting, we give each other feedback, and we also ask for clarity. Clarity means, was the message that was sent clear? Because so many times when we send messages, we assume people know. We assume people understand what we're trying to say. Then we also celebrate small wins. We also celebrate, like even somebody says, wow, I applied for this job. We celebrate, and then we ask them to come for coaching, how to show up in that meeting, how to show up in that interview, how to really speak up and own the space. Because most of the times we're so scared. I said about myself, even when I came to America, the culture shock. I know sometimes I would be told, do this, and I was like, me, I have an accent, Stewart, putting ourselves down. And it's a pandemic. It's just something that we realize that we need to help. And really what drove the journey of Confidence Elevate, I was invited to speak at a local university in Kenya. And I was speaking to students in the university. And that was way in 2017. My mother had passed away. I was going through such a hard, difficult time as a firstborn. I just felt the weight of my siblings on me, and I was struggling. But when I went to speak, I was surprised that being authentic in my story really motivated these young people. And we started to talk and just share with them. And I was like, wow, why not just why don't just come up and do something for these young people? And the first conference we did was really just sharing about the power of visualization, imagining what you want to be. And from there, I was like, it was supposed to be just a one-time conference. And I'm surprised that it continues to go. I'm really excited by people who support us. So confidence grows through conversations. I say the feedback, the small wins. Accountability is huge for us. Accountability in the community. Accountability is huge for us because we want to grow. We always want to grow. We are here now. And every year when our young people come to the conference, we say, what did you take from this conference? And how does it look like the next time we meet? So our meetings are structured every 2 weeks. And then we meet and we have assignments. We have a curriculum that has been developed where we look at each other and we have an assignment that we do every month to really reflect on our own growth. We want people to take ownership, because if I tell you something, it comes out as a threat in your brain. But when we engage you, for you to take it as an ownership and merge it into, this is where I really want to go. This is where I want to grow. And it's upon me. Because most of the time, we used to hear people, I need to me a pesa, give me this and give me that. When you just give people fish, what happens to that? They really don't grow. And our young people, we hear a lot of times, leadership, and you hear bosses in CEOs saying that I can't work with these Gen Zs, I can't work with these people. It's because we really have to understand how to engage them. We have to understand how to drive them so that they can take ownership. And a lot of times we have young people who come to the conference maybe for the first time and they say, wow, somebody believed in me. And honestly, there is no single young person who has joined our conference and has come back without growth. So that's why we want to challenge as a community, how are we growing our people? How are we making them seen and heard instead of blaming? There's a lot of blame, honestly, and that's why I like to share my own story. When I was talking to these university students in Kenya the first year in 2017, I was like, hey, what is the government doing? What is the deal? And I realized the more I just blamed, I could think about just even imparting one person, even just helping someone grow, one person, so that they can feel valued, they can feel seen. Maya Angelou tells us people will forget what you say, but they will never forget what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel. So my challenge to you is, as we talk about this, I want you to think, my second question is this. Think about something that you're thinking of doing and you're still thinking that you're not good enough. Let's talk, because I don't like to talk to myself. Can we talk? Can we open up, please? Any question? Anyone wants to share so far? Or any question before I proceed?
I guess I'll go. This is
Go
Jacqueline.
ahead.
When you talk about, I think as women, a lot of times when we are sitting in whatever corner that we are in, we don't feel that we are capable of doing what we're doing because of all the 101 things that we're doing. So it almost like we're not experts at one thing because we are spread out doing so many other things. So to build confidence in whatever it is that we're doing, how do you go about that? is my question.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking. Women, I mean, we are in charge of so much. That's the truth. We're in charge of the family. We're in charge of everything. We're in charge of anything. However, one thing that we've come to realize, and that's also with me, is to develop a habit. We have a framework at Confidence Elevate. We call it Visa T. We always think about what is it that I want to do. So you visualize. For example, if you want to become better at X, I'm going to say, I want to become better as a writer. That's my goal. I'm going to intentionally schedule time. I'm going to visualize what kind of a book I want to write, and I'm working on it. And I want to think about the audience that I'm writing for, but I have to also schedule time, whether it's going to be early in the morning before everybody else in the house wakes up to distract me, or I'm going to have to, it has to be intentional for you to go to the next level. I have to say, like, something that I have really successfully done this year was schedule time to go and do a walk for 45 minutes. And I'm excited about it. I had to just say, this is for my own health. This is for my own time to think and be creative and think about it. It's quiet when I go. So it's something that I had to intentionally put. Intentionally comes with purpose. It's the heart of anything that we're going to do to move us forward. If it's not intentionally, and I think Jackie, we've been saying, we're going to meet. If it's not intentionally put, it's just going to be a wish. We're going to wish reality away. So we are struggling, yes, but if we want to move it, it's going to be part of the growth plan and intentionally, and then have an accountability partner. I have an accountability partner, and I have to share my walk, like the minutes I have walked, how many miles have I walked that day. And she also has to share that. So that's accountability partner. At Confidence Elevate, we have accountability partner. That's why I even asked some of my young people to join here. I'm not sure if they made it, but I asked them to join so that they can hold me accountable and tell me, okay, this is an area you did well. This is an area you need to improve. Even yesterday, when we were doing a mentee session with our young people on how to introduce themselves and talk, I was given feedback. So I have to work continuously. It has to be an intentional part, and then you have to have an accountability partner after you have shared what you really want to do. And that's a process we work on. It's not a one-time thing. Yeah. Keep asking. Anyone else? Okay. So another thing that I've talked about the belief, the mindset, the how, the what. What I'm going to talk about is the culture. I'm going to talk about the culture because I'm so proud of this circle. And I was talking to Nelly and I was like, hey, I need to find a way to join. Finally, I need to join. So culture is what we do every day. At Confidence Elevate, we learned that transformation does not come by wish-washing. It just doesn't come because we created a program. Just because we call it Confidence Elevate doesn't mean it's working. It happens when new behaviors become the way we show up. We have an affirmation that we do. It just doesn't come up because now we call ourselves Confidence Elevate and walk around Confidence Elevate. No, that does not mean. Culture is not what we put on the billboards and all that. It's what we do every day. How we show up matters. We talk about it in our affirmation. We say that there are so many ideas yet to be discovered, but it takes an intentional work where we're doing what we say we're doing. Like at the culture at Confidence Elevates, we say that, okay, we have people who have, like, you have to come and facilitate a session. You have to try and be a speaker at least even once, so that we all are elevated. We all are growing together. The world has so many limitless possibilities that we need to have. So it takes all of us to be in that culture, because I cannot grow it by myself. I have to be comfortable enough to lead, to elevate leaders who take up, because this is not a one-person show. Yeah. So at this point, I'm just going to open up for questions. And I think I asked the elevators to come in here. I'm going to ask one of the young ladies to share her journey, if she's here. Christine, are you on the call?
Hi everyone, I'm here.
Okay, share about
Kindly
your journey.
confirm that you can hear my voice.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as Millie has said, my name is Anyango Christine. And right now, I serve as the Accountability Management Officer at Confidence Elevates. Well, a story that I really love to share is my story regarding Confidence Elevates. I joined Confidence Elevates when I was so, what can I say? I was a very shy girl. I didn't love crowds. I didn't I didn't believe in myself. My self-esteem was so down regarding my confidence. And when I searched online for Confidence Elevates, that's where I met Confidence Elevates, by the way, on Facebook. I reached out and we had a session with Millie. And just as she said, if someone really believes in you, that means that that person has seen something in you that you have not seen. So when we talked with Millie, I felt that she really saw something in me that I wasn't able to see. And being there, I've been mentored, I've been coached, and I can say through the years, it's now, I think, this is my 4th year. It's 4 years in Confidence Elevate, and my journey in confidence has never been the same again. I am never afraid of talking to people. I am never afraid of standing in front of crowds. Like, I just give all the credit to CE and to Millie. She's always there when I need her support in terms of anything. Confidence wise, maybe I need just advice on something, like CE and Millie will always be there. And also, Millie, if Dr. Nelly can remember, when she was a speaker in our conference last year, I was one of the MCs. That was actually my first time to ever do an MCing in my life. It was an opportunity that I was given by the CE because they had also seen that I can do MC, and I didn't know that I could do it. I can just say that CE has really invested a lot in me that I don't think I would ever got that chance anywhere. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Christine. I'm not sure if Beatrice is here, but that's what I was saying, that we do not transform people by giving them answers. I think when we started in 2018, I think there was a meeting we had in 2019 where people were so frustrated. They're like, you don't tell us what to do. You don't tell us. I was like, no, we don't believe that's not ownership. When you're a member of something, it's up to you as an individual and the leaders to create that environment where people want to try something. Like they'll say, oh, I've seen this work somewhere. Can I try it? Oh, I feel like this is working. Can we try this possibility? So we don't transform people. Like when Christine came, the first thing she was saying, oh, I'm not confident myself. I don't know how to speak. And she's an insurance agent, and she was wondering how she would do her work. And I told her, I said, what you can do is join. We do a panel. We talk to kids to join. And then we realize everybody is different. There are people who will do well in the panel discussion. And then there are people who will do one-on-one. There are people who will do well in a good setting. We have to understand that people have different gifts. People have different gifts. And it's our job. We transform people by creating the conditions for them to discover possibilities and leading, asking questions. It requires emotional intelligence, whereby we don't tell people what to do, but we grow them up where they're free to share. They're free to challenge the insecurities that they have and provide room for growth. Because I believe that the global movement requires us. We work in Nobel. Nobel is, Christine is actually now our Kenyan Nobel representative, whereby Nobel is a coding company that for young people that come in internship. A lot of people, when they join workplaces, now they ask, intern, have you been an intern somewhere? So we encourage our Confidence Elevates to partner up and join. And Christine now is the Nobel rep for us. And from someone who said they didn't have confidence, they didn't have, and I've seen her grow into so many things. So I just want to answer questions that you have. I really don't believe in just doing a talk for 30 minutes, but we have gone at least 38 minutes into the talk. I will open this up now for questions so that we can engage in a collaborative manner. Feel free to ask any question before we close.
So it's going to be Mayodoge again here. So you're talking about getting confidence if someone believes in you. Do you also believe that as women or as people or as individuals, you can draw confidence from your own self? how do you see a person if you don't have the opportunity to be in a group like, let's say, Confident Elevate? How do you see an individual being able to grow their own confidence and be able to thrive in whether it's in their workplace, whether it's in their family, whether it's in whatever it is that they're doing in life? How do you see them being able to grow confidence within themselves also and be able to walk in that kind of confidence?
It goes back to the mindset and the belief. They don't have to be, but we encourage people to be in a community so that we can know. But I think one of the things that I have observed in coaching leaders, even coaching, everybody is capable. People have gifts. They have talents. Sometimes it's just engaging them in a conversation and asking questions. Sometimes it's just like, I've met women even on Facebook, and I've just seen some of their posts, and you can see how consistent maybe the messages are. And I was like, wow, I really like this about your posts. I see this. And there's a lady who actually reached out to me and said, how? And I was like, let's look at the past 3 posts that you have done. This is the thread that I see in you. And I don't know her. I don't know that person, but I've seen that post. And so that's how I connected with that person. So I think it's having that belief, the mindset, believing that everybody in our sphere of influence, or even people who we don't know, they have something good in them. They have some gift and talent, because we are all born with something. I think the belief has to be there. Every time now when I walk around, even if I'm invited to a meeting, I know everybody in that room has something. It's just a belief that I have ingrained so much in my mind. So I know that if I'm walking through somebody, they may not be as loud in speaking, but it's our job. I feel like at the beginning when I said it's our collective responsibility to tap on that gift so that people can feel seen, heard, and valued. The person was like, wow, may I just share this post that I did? I was like, no, this is a gift that you need to work on. There's another lady who I saw, and just these young people who follow me on Facebook, and I kept on saying chaka chaka, like just start a step. And she told me she's in Kisumu. I think I'm going to meet her this time. She's in Kisumu. Honestly, I never knew that I would do this, but you encouraged me, and she paid for her fees and is finished with college today. So as a woman, we really just need to have that mindset, because it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but when we start ingraining that in our mind, possibly, I saw that even with my nieces and all. Sometimes I'm like, this one is just not listening. But also I've learned with our young people, the prefrontal lobe, this part of our brain, does not start developing until they're 20. So that means we have to be a little bit patient with our young people, but also try to really strive and listen, actively listen to people when they talk, and start seeing the thread of their messages. And you will find a diamond in that thread, in that person. Yeah. Everybody has something. So even when you're in a team, when you start listening to people, you realize, wow, this person is this. And that's how we build our team at Confidence Elevate. You're like, you're so good in this. How do you think you can do this? How do you think you can help us in this? Have you thought about helping us develop this and that in team? So let me turn this on. My computer's dying, so let me turn it on. So we've always just believed. I think I have believed, and I think that's just like the contagion effect in our brain, whereby our energy fills the spaces we are. So you will just find yourself. I know you want to grow people, but you will just have to change that mindset too. There's something good in that person, and listen when you're doing conversations. Actively listen. That's something we train in Confidence Elevate, how to just listen. Don't listen with telling your story. Somebody wants to tell you their story and you're busy like, oh wow, even me. Wait, let them talk. Listen to the theme. You will see a common thread in their talking. Ask them questions and just listen. Listen to understand, not to respond. And believe me, you will find something good in that person. And that person, and once you've named it to that person, they will take it to heart and they will start working on it. That's something I have seen over and over. I worked with a client in Houston, and my boss was like, this person needs to go. Their productive rate is not good. They're not doing this. And I have to say, Dr. Ponce, with all due respect, give me 3 months with this person. And then if not, then, my job is on the line. And I started listening. I had to suspend all my judgments about that person. I had not tuned into that person and understood what that person was going through. The more I started listening to that person and suspend judgment that I had heard, I'm confessing here, I had to say, wow, what's going on? And listen, there was a lot that person is carrying. There was a lot that person was weighing heavily. And when I started listening and suspending my own judgment and connecting deeply, believing that they can do it, the tables started shifting and she started to perform well. Because I had just made up my mind. Every time I would fly into Houston, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to work with this person and da 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 da. It was because I had self-limiting beliefs in the person. But the more I unlocked my own belief and started suspending that judgment, the person started to glow and became one of our very strongest employees. And the accountability shifted and began to rise, and she became one of our trainers. So I always think, like, what if I held that belief that she's done, there's nothing good in her, and that she's not. So I think that the more we do it, the more we will see that we can build a community that can see. It's something we have to train our brain to see the good, because our brain is built in a way that the negative occupies a bigger place in our brain. And so we have to make that intentional effort to see the good, because iron sharpens iron. Yeah. I hope I answered the question. Any other question? Is Beatrice here? Anyone else?
Hi, Betty. Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing your story? As said, my accountability team is going to join me. And so I believe in storytelling.
Thank you so much, Betty. And just like Betty said, my name is Beatrice Otawa. I'm part of the accountability team and also director of operations and Confidence Elevates. So mine joining CE was not like Christine's. I I went into the meeting, though I had registered, but I went into the meeting and was just seated there and kept on inquiring if my name was on the list. And I literally knew that it was not on the list. And I joined CE from a point where I had lost my self-confidence. I had come from a very, very broken relationship from GBV, and I needed to get my bearing. I came to see at a point where I had hit rock bottom. If there's a rock bottom, I had hit that rock bottom. So when while in the sessions, and we were taken through a mirror. And for the first time, I read that mirror and I looked at myself, what I'd gone through, and I had to dust myself and wake up from where I was at that particular moment. So the first conference I attended, I came out with two things. Number one, the mirror. Basically, when I look at the mirror, who do I see in that mirror? Am I proud of that person? How can I mold that person to be in the likeness and in the image of God? How can I revitalize that person that I once knew? And we also had one of our speakers who took us through online work, how one can work in these online work platforms. And I enrolled into Upwork and I started working online. And through that, I got my job where I currently am. And through the years, I've always, when we attend any Confidence Elevates conference, I always challenge myself to always have something new. And with that also, with Confidence Elevate, I also learned that it's not also about just me, myself, and I. I have people who are around me. How do I then impact my life? And that I was touched by Confidence Elevate during the COVID pandemic. So throughout that season when everyone was indoors, for us, we used to have check-ins. And that really helped us through that period to just manage depression, to manage issues that you are going through. And it's from there that I had a light bulb moment and I say to myself, it's not about me all the time. Maybe there's someone out there who's going through a situation worse than mine, or almost the same as mine, and I can reach out to them and be their mentor. So where I stand at right now, with the help of CE, I've now started my own CBO. I'm mentoring young women and young girls, and it's an amazing journey. And when someone had asked about having confidence in yourself, it's very important when you believe in yourself, because when you do not believe in yourself as a woman, as a young person, then you can't tell someone else to believe in themselves. In short, you cannot give what you do not have. And in Confidence Elevate, one thing that we are always told is it is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. So when you're not okay, you're not okay. There's no other way, or to just camouflage and say today I'm well, but inside you are just breaking down into pieces. And with that, whatever storms that we go through in life, once you've realized and you know what you want in life and you have that confidence, it doesn't matter what people will say. But as long as you have that confidence and you have friends or family who give you that support, then you can do anything in this life. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you. So anyone else with a question? Those are some of my my accountability tips. They keep me in check. They make sure I do what I say I'll do. They make sure that the message is clear before it's sent, because we believe in clarity. Clarity is good for our brain, because as we've learned, like when we don't send clear messages, the brain is confused. And so we are so excited to be here. And before I close, is there anyone with questions before I just, anybody else? We are so excited that you invited us here. We know that it was just going to be so much. So we had to cram. What are we? Why do we do what we do? How do we do it? And keep the message short with questions so that we can engage together. We are so excited to be here, because this is a journey that started in 2018. We're celebrating our 7th conference in July, the 24th and the 25th. And so before I close, is there any questions? Anybody else wants to share anything that they've learned? What was one of the things we do before we always close is, what was one thing that was clear for you? It keeps all of us engaged. It keeps us, so is there anything else? You guys are quiet. Okay, Vicky, thank you. Thank you for raising your hand.
Hi, sorry, I joined in late when the session had already started. Maybe I might have missed some points. I wanted to find out. In life, many times you can be weighed down for one reason or another. And I find that sometimes you just want somebody to pull you up just for that, or okay, during that period, you want somebody to pull you up. I'd usually offer some sessions like that for people. And where can we find you? Are you located in Kenya, or where are you located? Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky. Yes, we all, I mean, I would be a liar if I say that we don't go through ups and downs in life. I mean, all of us, none of us is immune to life struggles. And yes, I've always had coaching conversations with people, and we have our meetings every 2 weeks. But right now, I'm going to be in Kenya actually next month, so we can meet. Jackie can give you my number. I'm available for us to talk, because I believe that, like I believe in iron sharpening iron. There's something I can learn from you. There's something you can learn from me, and we can just talk about what is it that we can do together, because we all need each other. I have, as old as I am, I've come to believe we need each other. We all need each other. So yes, I can leave my email, and Jackie can give all my details here. And feel free to just call, send me a message, and we can just chat, just like sisters. And just, there's something I can learn from you. I always believe that. Is that okay?
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Elizabeth, I see your hand up.
Yes, Millie, thanks for the session. Good job.
Thank you.
How do you deal with, the statement they keep saying, stay humble, and yet when you get to corporates, you have to work 1,000 times harder to get where you are. So what's the thin line? I've been practicing for the last year not to stay humble.
Hey, are you in Kenya, or are you in America, or are you
Yes, I'm in Kenya.
Yes, I mean, I think I used to think that like, if I talk about myself, like, you know how we're all brought up in a way that you're not supposed to say, the things that you're doing. But one thing I learned, like in corporate settings, I was a victim also, whereby I wanted to stay humble. I would do a presentation and give it to someone else to present. Guess who got the credit of that presentation? It was not me, right? It was the other person. So Elizabeth, the more you are in corporate office, I think the more in the corporate setting, I think you just have to be like, you have to show up. You have to show up with asking questions and say, like, for example, even sometimes you know the answer, but you can just say, hey, if I may ask, I'm curious. I'm wondering about this. Could you clarify? Could you help me clarify? So they start thinking like, oh, wow, she's thinking about this. Sometimes I would go to a meeting, honestly, and I don't know what they're doing, but I would just take their words and construct a sentence and ask again and say, wow, I was wondering about this, what you just said. Could you mind, how does that look like when that project is finished? Are we on the same, like, what else do I need to do? Okay, I worked on this. How does it look like? I would really just, I realized that, me being quiet, I was not moving. I was not going anywhere. And in America, for example, you have to speak up. You have to, but I was never a leader, I was just sitting there. I was doing my work, giving it to people. And I was like, and then one of my boss, the consultant said, Millie, you need to show up. You need to own this process. And I wrote that statement down. And from there on, every meeting, I would just ask questions. And I would say, for example, if my boss said this work is due on this day, what I would do is work on that project. And I wanted just to make sure that they engage. And I say, how does that look like? Guess what? I'm making that person think before. So they look at my work and they say, wow, this is, I said, so what else do you want me to add? Okay, and then when I come to the meeting, I just write 2 or 3 questions. My coach told me, just write 2 or 3 questions, 2 thought-provoking questions, and let them think. And then they just think, hey, you're too smart, and then you start growing and you own that space, because humility is good, but humility is in a different space. Humility where you're just quiet, you have nothing, and yet you're smart. Yet you own the process. Yet you're good enough to make a change or even go further. So humility in a different way. But when you ask people questions, you've given yourself the person the power to think and bring you the thing. So corporate world is whereby you have to show up. And you have to show up brilliantly. You have to ask questions, not in a manner of demeaning, but in a manner that creates space and makes people know that you know what you know, because you do. Let no one makes you feel anyhow. You open those spaces with confidence. Ask questions. The Art of Asking Powerful Questions is one of the books that really, really was in my first course where I was trained by my coach, is to master the art of asking thought-provoking questions where even your boss does not feel like you're disrespecting their position, but it comes from a way of wanting to learn more. Yeah.
That is so interesting, because I think our culture forces us to
be humble. We are always brought up that, you know, you have to be careful. As a woman, you have to be quiet, you have to be humble. Those are the good girls, you know. So, but you come out in the real world and you realize if you're not confident, if you don't step out, if you don't, you know, be forward, be out there, no one cares about you. You won't go, you won't grow in what you're doing. It's so funny that like the last year I was looking for a job and I had to switch from my mode of, oh, me, you know, because by nature, I'm more of a quiet person. But I had to come out of that and just tell myself, no, in this, whatever it is in the corporate world, whether when you're working, when you're doing what you're doing, you have to be confident in what you're doing. Whether you're selling, whether you have your own business, whatever it is you're doing, you just have to raise yourself up.
You're right, because think about it this way. One of the practical things that I always say, just think about like you're baking a cake, you know, you read the instructions, you do it. The first time, the cake may not come out well. But the more you try, you start building that confidence in whatever you're doing. And then you become like, you think you're the master chef, you know, hey, here's my, nowadays when I bake that cake and I can put the 7-layer cake, I'm excited because that's something that I've learned to practice and the confidence. So I came to realize that the confidence is an action. Confidence grows with you taking that leap of faith and doing. We never knew about growing an organization, but the more we do active, now we can tell you, hey, they do this. This is what and we fail, we wake up, we go up. And so it's just one step at a time and believing that you have something, believe in yourself first, that you have something. Nowadays, when I go to those meetings, I make sure I have my 2 questions. Hey, I'm not quite keeping quiet because, hey, you know, for how long will I just be passed through these positions? I make sure I'm listening actively and I write those questions. I say, one of my 5 favorite questions, Dr. Pavin always says, she said, Millie is like, wow, what would that look like when it's completed? That's a general question that even the boss will be like, you're thinking, you're visualizing, you want success, you're part of the team and you are invested in it. So they will treat you differently. They will know that you are invested. And when the people know that you're invested and you're owning the process, I'm telling you, they will be like, hey, there's a trip. You want to go? I'll be like, no, let me look at my schedule first. Now you own the calendar, not someone driving your calendar. Like when I say last year, I think when I started this new position, I was like, but you know, I have a conference in July in Kenya. And somebody from the HR was like, wow, you're new. And I was like, no, I know my worth. And it was up to them to say yes or no. And they allowed me to work in Kenya. And I was brand new. I was like 1 week old. And so we just have to own our processes, understand that we are uniquely created, believe in that. I just say believe in it and just practice. Like for me, I think I really invested in the art of asking powerful questions because I realized that was my strength. And so I could cut across the bosses who feel like they're all that. And I'll say, wow, Dr. So-and-so, thank you so much for this project. It's really good. What does that look like when it's finished? What are some of the things that you want created? And now even with AI, hey, once you get the prompt, you come up with that, they think that you're the smartest person in the world. Don't be afraid of AI. Use it to help you create some of the most imaginative things that you can do. Once you know the goal, you visualize what it needs to look like, you internalize the process, you strategize it so that you can actualize it. Yeah. So in closing, I just want to say
before you close, yeah,
I'm open. Okay.
I just wanted to go back.
I'm so sorry because
a story. No. I just want to go back on Beatrice's story, and the part that kind of touched me on hers a little bit is the part of when you fail. I just want you to talk a little bit on that because a lot of times when we're trying to go into these roles, when you're trying to do life, when you're trying to just do the roles that we're doing, the one thing that is when we don't see success, speak on that. Because I really was touched by the way Beatrice was talking about the way she was from the bottom place, but was still able to come back up. What, just touch on, even if you fail, kuanguka sio kukuteleza. So just speak on that a little bit before you close.
First of all, I always prepare our clients or even anybody that I'm coaching that guess what? None of us is not fail. we will fail. At some point of time, we will fail. We failed in so many places. You see, like this, my goodness, there are times like I have to call someone, I have failed in so many times. But I think when we talk to people and when we are growing in whatever roles we are, as a parent, as a mother, as a leaders, what we have to, it needs to be underlined that we're going to fail. So what we're going to do, again, going back to the belief, what is it that you can adjust your you can it's okay to fail. Let me just start with there, because so many times we're afraid to fail because somebody will say something, or how am I going to look. It's okay to fail. I think one of the New York best-selling Amy Edmondson, who talks about failure, and that's how she grew her business, is because she realized that hospitals were losing so much money because people who were suing and all that. So many times that we have to understand that failure is there. But what the question is, how am I going to get up after failing in some things? What are some things that I need to do? We have to understand, I'm going to learn from my mistakes. I always tell myself, hey, we have this conference, we've done our best. And if everything does not go the way we planned, it's okay. Last year, when we had our conference, there's so much that was just going not right. But we had to say, look, we are going to be fully present. We're going to sit in the moment, and we're going to do. And we're so glad that Nelly, they are talking to us about mental health, because in times when you're feeling that you're failing, your brain goes crazy. You talk to people around you crazy. Instead of you taking that breath and just calming yourself and reminding yourself, one thing we say at Confidence Elevate, it's okay not to be okay. So we tell people, just take a moment to think, because I've learned that, when our brain, when we're so stressed out, our brain cannot think rationally. And when we are not thinking rationally, guess what? We influence everybody around us. So you're bringing your asira zako to everybody else, instead of saying, you know what, I failed. What is the goal? And ask yourself questions. That's why we believe in ongoing feedback. Ongoing feedback for yourself as a person, meaning you're holding yourself accountable. Remember, I said I take ownership. I connect the dots between engagement, ownership, and accountability. When you are constantly thinking about that, you will be able to say, wow, I feel like in this area we are failing. Our meetings are not successful because of this. Are we really engaging everybody to come on time? What are some of the things we're doing? Are we celebrating wins? That's one thing we had to ask ourselves in Confidence Elevate. Are we celebrating the wins of people? Are we giving everybody a chance to have conversations? Because sometimes people say, me, I'm just a member. We're just like, hey, we don't let anybody leave our meetings without telling us one thing that was clear and one thing that we can do better. It was not easy at the beginning, but we realized that, change is inevitable. Adaptability is not. So when we are thinking that we're failing, there's always a different way of doing something than just thinking, oh, I have failed. Yeah, I always say, yeah. Failure is not the end of the world. Embrace it. We failed, but we've gotten ourselves up. I have failed so many times, but I've gotten myself up and just believed that there is the end of the tunnel. Like now with the world, with uncertain world, people are just like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. I'm like, no, it's my time for building. We are going to build even if we fail in this crazy world. So I think that you just have to believe. It goes back to the belief. That's why Confidence Elevates belief. It goes back to the belief that you have something important. A gift inside. And then having a mindset. We call it just a mindset that, you know what, even if it doesn't work well, what are the things that I have learned? And what are the things that I can do better? Self-awareness, self-check. That's what the Beatrice was talking about, the mirror. The mirror is what guides us, because we cannot give the world what we don't have. Yeah. So I will not close. I will wait for more questions, because the more you ask, that's why I like questions, because it brings clarity. You're muted.
Ladies, it's your chance now. You better take it. But I was just also going to say, just to be respectful of your time, we had talked about an hour. It's already past the hour. We've gone over the hour that we had talked about. So I want to respect your time. But at the same time, at Jokanyanyam Women's, normally we have these education days once a month, and we have ladies come in. And ladies, thank you all for being here, for attending so well today. I hope this
Yes.
session with Millie was a good session for all of us. But we normally don't end. We officially end. We have an official end time so that those who will have other obligations are able to leave freely. But we normally do something what we call mdomotherapy. So mdomotherapy, you're welcome to stay on. It's more free. People turn on their cameras. They're able to talk. They're just able to go on back as women and just
Oh,
continue
wow.
to engage in what we want to. But we just also want to be respectful of your time and respectful of people's time. We want to maybe close out in prayer for those who want to leave or who are obligated to leave, and those who want to stay on are welcome to stay on and continue to just chit chat. I see some comments before you also close out. I see Vicky saying this was a golden opportunity, and to many of us, and she's being thankful. So we'll definitely leave your contact information if you allow us to. For the ladies, we'll
Yes.
give that to the ladies. That way, if anybody wants to get a hold of you later on, they're welcome
Yeah.
to do that. So if you don't mind, we'll definitely do that. But thank you again, Millie, for being here. Betty, may I call you Betty? I know you're. I call you
Millie.
Betty. Yeah.
Millie is
Yeah.
the corporate world.
All right, your government
Fine,
name.
whatever.
Yeah. 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 But thank you so
My
much for
government
being.
name is, but
Oh,
Betty.
yeah.
So I just
Thank
want to
you.
say I'm really, really grateful for your John Kanyanam, like Onagi. Like I was so excited. I was just like, wow. Remember, I told you we meet every Saturday for Confidence Elevate. So we had to meet yesterday because we had to accommodate you and be here because this is something that I really personally I want to know how do I get in and all that. But I want to close by saying just every conversation leaves a footprint. We have to be conscious of the conversations we are having to really bring that light off to people and help. And then we need to think about what thoughts are shaping my actions. Well, like for example, when you ask about if I fail, I need to think, where is that thought originating? Is it a failure on my side? Or is this just a perception that I failed? Because sometimes when we say we failed, is it just a failure that I'm imagining or a failure that I'm just thinking about? And I want to encourage you, be the leader you wish you had. Be the leader you wish you had. Can you imagine if we thought about people as valuable assets, valuable commodity that I said at the beginning? Be the person who can actively listen for that golden nugget in someone. Be the person who takes responsibility. And just know that we are so powerful when we can come together and sharpen each other's. So like, for example, Dr. Nelly has been like a mom to me. When I lost my mom, she just took care of us with my siblings and really just extended her love and saw something in us that we just didn't know. Like even me, for example, she would say, "I'm picking you up from the airport," and I was like, "Wow, who does that? Who does that?" So I just want to say thank you so much for what you're doing. I believe we are stronger together. I believe that confidence is something we nurture every day, and I'm going to be here for you. Just let me know. And you're free to give my number, free my email. And I know the next week is going to be busy because I leave the week after. And I try to finish a project so that I don't work when I come home. I want to just sleep and sit under the mango tree and wait for the conference. But I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I knew it was 1 hour. That's why I kind of scheduled my talk to be just 1 hour. And so appreciate you. So we can talk.
Okay. And before we talk, I'll just what I gathered today. You said you want feedback on what I gathered today. One thing, accountability matters. So that means, ladies, get yourself accountability partners. Intentionality matters. Be intentional about everything we do. Practice what we say or practice what we want. Even if it's the confidence, practice it, and that's the way you grow in it. The art of asking provoking questions. Change is inevitable. belief that everyone has a gift. I believe everyone has a God-given gift inside of themselves, and let's walk in that gift and redeem the time with whatever gift God has given us. Self-check, be aware of what's around us, and every conversation leaves a footprint. So every time we talk, we're leaving a footprint. So for people like me who clash a lot and say things very quickly, that is so important. So, but those are what I got out of this conversation. Ladies, I hope you also got a lot of things out of this conversation also. And to close out, I don't know who is ready and willing to pray us out so that they can leave people officially out. And then those who want to stay from domotherapy, they're welcome to stay. Do I have any takers?
Domotherapy for everybody.
Anybody who wants to stay on, they're welcome to stay on. Who wants to? Do I have any volunteer to pray us out?
Yes,
I
I
can.
can.
That's okay. Oh, thank you. Someone else.
Go ahead, Auntie Daddy.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we bow our heads before you with thanksgiving in our hearts. We are so grateful for such an opportunity that you've granted us as women, especially from Nyanza, that we can be able to work together to bring developments to ourselves and even to our communities. Thank you for our speaker this evening, Betty Tambo. We pray that you'll continue to give her wisdom even as she continues to help other people. Thank you for the whole community at Jokanyanam. We pray that you will help us to bond together, give us wisdom also that as we bond, that we may realize the dreams that we have. We pray for each other. We know that there are many of us who are going through difficult times. In the past, we've actually lost quite a number. We pray that you give them comfort, give them peace. And as we continue to walk together, may you help us that we may walk and bring glory and honor to your name. This evening, we leave ourselves under your care. Everything that we have learned here, that we may be able to put to good use. This prayer we offer to you through the office of your Son, who is our King Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. So, ladies,